When I talk about Galaxy Z Folds and I talk about Pixel Folds, there's always a subset of comments that likes to discuss how many things it seems like the Z Fold has, feature-wise, that the Pixel Fold does not have. It seems like Samsung does a really great job of creating new features that eventually other foldables, maybe the Pixel Fold, will at some point pick up. Today in this video though, we're talking about something that's kind of going in the opposite direction in a weird sort of way. And to kind of get into it, we need to actually talk about one of the biggest complaints that people had early on about the Pixel Fold. This is a screen capture of my Pixel Fold, and what I've done here in tablet mode is I have launched the Wyze application. And what you can see here is that there is pillar box, and we have a big black box over here and a big black box over here. And the reason that that is happening is because the Wyze application is not made in such a way that it natively allows for the app to be resized. Now, a lot of applications fall into that category. Some applications fall into a category where they do resize, they fill up the entire screen, and they also will offer new different layouts because they are on a larger screen. If we go back to Wyze here, you'll see this app just does not support that natively. And that was a big complaint because a lot of applications that you might use just end up not taking advantage of that larger tablet screen. A lot of people said that's a problem, and they said, hey, Samsung already solved that problem because on a Samsung phone, Z Folds, of course, is what I'm talking about. When you open that Wyze application, it's just going to say, I don't care that Wyze doesn't have that screen, that app resizing functionality built in. We're going to just stretch the app out, and that's going to be what's going to happen. Now, with the Pixel Fold, a couple of months after it had been on the market, something changed. If I go home one more time and I open this app back up, you will see a little pop-up here. And if we click on this, it allows us to change the behavior from app default. You have full screen and half screen as your option. Let's click on full screen, open it again, and now that app is stretched, it is resized. It is forcing that resizing just like Samsung. But the biggest difference here is that I can tell it what I want it to do. Not all apps work super well. If we go back to this application, you can see I can only see the top two options. You may be fine with that, but if you're not fine with that, you can go with half screen, or in this case, app default, and now you can see the first 5 options on that application. What am I getting at? I'm just meaning that there's flexibility here. You can do either one. Sam Mobile is reporting that with One UI 6.1.1, that is what the Z Fold 6 is launching with, you do now have a narrow view option to make apps fit on the Z Fold. Now, the example they give is Twitter. They're basically saying it's not a great experience when there is a large image on the screen. And with this option, you can go into your recents and change it to narrow view. It shrinks it in a little bit, and now you can see the full image. It's literally the exact same thing that the Pixel Fold is doing. It's just funny because the Pixel Fold went from this being the default and being able to switch to this, whereas Samsung went from this being the default and being able to switch to this. They're coming from two opposite directions, but ending up effectively in the exact same place. Now, of course, people who have been using Z Folds for a while, maybe you're familiar with Good Lock and Multistar. Maybe this entire time you've been saying, Shane, don't you know about set aspect ratio for each app, the option under iHeart Galaxy Foldables in Multistar? And I would say to you, yes, I am aware of that, but this is different. This is built in, and I've not played with Multistar in such a long time now. I assume that option is still there. Maybe I'll put a link to that video. It's very old, and it's potentially outdated at this point. Maybe I'll put it down there in the description. But yes, this is something that you could actually do in a more granular way through Good Lock, through Multistar. But again, this is built into the operating system. This is something that it's right there. You don't need to install any additional things. Samsung is really cool about how sometimes they will like test these features out in Good Lock before bringing them into the main OS. And if you look at it from that perspective, then this really isn't Google having something before Samsung. This is something that Samsung tested a couple of years ago in Good Lock. Google just delivered it to their OS publicly before Samsung did. But there you go, guys. I'll put a link to the Sam Mobile article in the description down below. I'll see you on the next one. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.